Mm, mm. I got some ideas, but I have no clue. But I am gonna start making these live streams. I'm gonna start. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna start mapping out these live streams because I've realized. So I had like this. Let me adjust that. I had these. What are they called? Like what I was gonna do with my videos. I thought that was a spider. Spider Man. What I was gonna do with these videos on my main channel on the main page. What am I saying? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What is it called? So I had a bunch of topics, and it was gonna be different aspects of martial arts, and I was gonna talk about different aspects of communication and different aspects of art and poetry. I was gonna put that on the main page and break them down and edit them and stuff, but that shit's boring and it takes too long. But I realized I could actually talk about that online. Who's calling me? There we go. All right, cool. We had technical difficulties for a quick second. We had technical difficulties already. It's the first minute. I might start over. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Technical difficulties already. It's hard. It's 4 o'clock and people are already trying to call me. Why would it's so funny when you're trying to get busy and people already start calling you. Everybody you become the most important person. I was knocked out sleep like from like all day actually. I just woke up. And now and no like phone dry as hell. And now all of a sudden everybody's calling. It's like, oh, come on, bro. If you just walked in here, go ahead, like the video. I want to last video we got like I think 17 likes and I'm trying to get like I want to get 18 likes this video. So it's good watcher hygiene to like the video. I big appreciate you guys if you do that. But back to what I was talking about before the video kind of froze a little bit. I was like all the stuff that I planned on doing, like talking about for my page, I could do it on here. So let me get this started. I was thinking we talked a lot about the central nervous system yesterday, and it hit me like something hit me. I was sitting back, and I'm probably gonna have to say this again once more people come in here. But I realized that our subconscious might like the second brain. We have a second brain, and it's our central nervous system, and that might be where our subconscious lies at. Like we think that our subconscious is in our head, but it hit me. I said, no, the subconscious is in our central nervous system. Blew my mind when I figured that out. And then I looked into it. Now, neuroscience says that there's something similar to that kind of going on, but not exactly on the nose, exactly the way I kind of imagined it to be. What's good? You always come in and what does that mean? Do you speak English? Can you tell me what does that mean? Ahmed? Ahmed? What does that mean? You like I love that you come in here every day and say something. I just don't know what the hell that means. AHMED. If you just walked in, like the video, what I was just talking about. Oh my gosh, now we're coming in. Like the video. I got 17 likes the last video. I want to get 18. I want to get 18. Right now I'm talking about the central nervous system, about how I think it is the link to our subconscious. That's something I want to talk about. I just hopped on. I think tomorrow after I get done doing my interview for my fight stuff, and I get done teaching, I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna come a little bit more prepared with these topics. Like I had the topics prepared better last time, like a few months ago, but I'm just coming in winging it at this point, and I'm banking it on you guys talking to me. That's really what it is. But yeah. Let me see. This is my little notes that I've been using. It was actually origami paper because I wanted to get into origami, but then it turned into great note paper. So It's kind of funny. How are you guys doing this Friday? If y'all ain't gonna say nothing, don't make me. I will end this live and come up with some topics so I can just start yapping. Because I want this to be a 2-hour live again. Last live stream went from 2 hours and 30 minutes. That was actually pretty good. So, you know. Well, no, I'm good at yapping. Let me see. What's a good topic that I could talk about right now? That's just on my mind. There's really nothing on my mind. I usually, yeah, okay. We'll continue talking about the central nervous system then. So let's ramp this up. We're gonna really get this started. Okay. So I've been reading this book called Detached, right? It's such a really damn good book. The crazy thing about it is the author is a woman who this book is clearly it's a book for women, for other women, you know. I would really recommend this book. If I was a girly, I would recommend this book to another girly who can't get over her guy. But one thing that I've learned about detachment is such a crazy concept. The concept of detachment, when you hear the word like detachment, you're thinking that like, oh, you have to be cold, you don't give a fuck about nothing, yada yada yada, right? But that's not what detachment actually means. Detachment means that you solely, fully still care about something, but you do not care about the outcome any longer. Like you're fully invested in the process, but you're not worried about the outcome, if that makes sense. And this right here has been like me reading this is so profound to me. I don't know why. It seems so simple. You get what I'm saying? Like it seems very simple. Like, okay, like I'm gonna try, but I don't care about the outcome, right? But it's been so profound that I feel like the more I read this book, I feel like how do I say this? I feel she got me, the girlies got me saying the I feel word. I just feel it just makes freaking sense. And so then I started looking into other words, such as I remember last live I was talking about how yesterday I went to Muay Thai and I'm sitting back training inside of Muay Thai and I had a particular person in my mind and I could not focus. So then I started deep diving into certain words and, you know, some of the guys came in and said, well, you have to just, what did they say? The guys were like, oh, well, you have to just not worry about it, not focus on it. Just leave it alone, worry about it. But I'm like, yeah, but the problem is that I couldn't focus, right? And the mental framework for men telling other men to just go to the gym, I realized at that moment does not work. You know, like for the first time, I understood how some people can be trying to be busy, trying to forget certain things, but they just can't forget it, right? And this is why some people spiral and crash out. So I started really looking deeper into this of why that could be the case. And then I came across it's a working idea, but we have the same way that we have moral virtues. I believe like which is mental frameworks for our mind. I realized that the subconscious also, if the like there's a reason why in the beginning of this video I was talking about I believe that the subconscious is a second brain. And I believe that, no. I said the central nervous system is a second brain. And I believe it's linked to our subconscious because if our brain, the mind, we came up with moral virtues of how we should act and how we should think and how we should do, I believe that there's also moral virtues for central nervous system regulation. such as detachment, right? Being like fully present in the process, but not caring about the outcome. You get what I'm saying? And then I thought more about it. I said, well, what about mindfulness? And I had to look, I actually like literally had to look in some books to, because I found out that mindfulness and presence are two different things. And it kind of blew my mind because I was like, wait. So mindfulness is being aware that you're thinking, you know? Mindfulness is the awareness of the aware, you know? Like right now I'm being mindful because I'm thinking of the fact that I think, right? Which is actually good. You know, you're able to check yourself and realize when you bullshitting. You get what I'm saying? That's mindfulness. But the actual skill, which is what I was talking about yesterday, and that's why I actually, you know, every time we talk about stuff, I immediately go like study it. Where I said I was in training and I couldn't stop thinking of a particular person, right? And I was like, I was mindful of the fact that I was thinking about him, but there was no recipe for me to fix that. Well, the actual word is called presence. So to me, this is another central nervous system like virtue. Presence is the ability to be like inside of the present moment and letting go and forgetting about the past and the future. Okay? So, if you and this right here is the cure for anxiety. This is something that I'm learning, okay? This is like something very deep that I'm kind of starting to figure out. Mm. That Red Bull is kicking today. That feels good. So you have mindfulness, which is the mindfulness is the art of awareness. So like when like let's say women, for example, you're talking to a woman, she's like, you hear women like yapping, they're like, oh, I want a man that's emotionally intelligent. When I really started looking at it, she wants a man that's mindful, aware of her feelings, right? She wants his presence and appreciate you. She wants his presence and she wants him mindful of her feelings, right? But presence though, that I found the term presence, but now I'm starting to look into more of that. That right there is something I never really realized. Like the concept, the same way the concept of detachment is to be fully in love with, like right now, like for me, for example, this is a good example. I hopped on live, right? And one thing that I'm learning about live, or like this is just a good example, is that I love the process of talking to you guys, right? I'm in love with the process. I don't care about the outcome. Some people, and this, like some people be like, oh, I want thousands of people watching me or whatever. But they're too busy in love with the idea, the outcome of something, and not, you said like the video, thank you, and not the process of something, if that makes sense. So you have detachment. Yeah, I don't know. Like this, I've been it's a working theory, and I think the more I come on live, or the more like after we get done talking, and then I leave and I go study and I think about that stuff, I think like I'm gonna get better and better with these topics. Like that's something that I'm gonna get better with. Ooh, I have some stuff from yesterday that I could talk about. I'm glad I be writing this stuff down, so I'm gonna swing on into those. Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna swing on into those. So I'm gonna talk about, because I didn't talk about this yesterday, communication as a martial art. And I'm gonna talk about a martial artist versus a fighter. Mm. I also let me see. I also want to talk about, and go ahead if you guys are in here, go ahead and like the video. It really helps out. I'm trying to get 18 likes. I also want to talk about fighting, specifically like fighting versus let me just say fighting versus martial arts, like a real fight. Let me say a real fight. A real fight. All right. So you said I think martial arts is just art, and so you said I think martial arts is just art of war, art of strategy in war. I think martial arts is a little bit deeper than that. That's what I'm like. I believe the whole central idea of martial arts is actually central nervous system regulation. This is why you guys been hearing me bring up central nervous system, central nervous system. I do believe, like you said, it's the art of war. But at the same time, I just think that there's just a little bit more to martial arts than people give it credit for. There's a reason why this stuff captivates us, you know? So let's talk about actually perfect. Let's talk about right there a martial artist versus a fighter. This is something that I feel is super, super huge. Okay. So today we have a lot of fighters, but we do not have a lot of martial artists. Okay. What I mean by that is if you look at, let's take Conor McGregor, for example. Take Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was a martial artist. I know some people are going to like probably disagree, but he embodied martial artists. He transcended past his fighting arena. Okay. Khabib Nurmagomedov was a fighter. Okay. Honor, all that stuff, yada, 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 yada. Like, so a fighter doesn't, how do I say this? A fighter only cares about the skill of, and this is what a lot of martial artists think this is what martial arts is actually all about. I was talking to my dad last night. So there's a particular person who I need to be very careful with my words because I believe one day my lives are going to come out. But I'm going to give this a better example to hide what I'm really saying. But I was talking to my dad and I said, there's this fighter that's fighting, right? And he was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, Dad, what do you think is the most important thing in martial arts right now, in fighting? Like, what is the most important skill? Like, no, what's the most important thing? And he said skill. I said, okay, that's a good answer. You know, do you have anything else? He was like, what else he said? He said skill. He said being able to box, or, you know, he just said all these things that dealt with fighting. And I said the most important thing is being able to generate money. In modern martial arts, the most important skill is to generate money. And a lot of fighters are only focused on generating skill. Okay? You say, yeah, I don't think it's just hand-to-hand combat, though. No, I got you. But the most important skill in today's martial art economy is the ability to generate cash. Okay? This is why so many fighters end up broke. Because they spent so much time focused on the skill of, instead of the ability to, like, martial arts transcends just fighting. You know, being a martial artist is just as hard as being a fighter. Actually, I think it's a little bit harder because because martial arts requires you adding the skill of communication. This is why I said communication is a martial arts skill. Communication is a martial arts. The ability to market, entertain, that's the artist side. So when someone says, I do martial arts, people only think of, yeah, you know, I'm a fighter. But when you say I'm a martial artist, that means you know how to fight, you know how to communicate, you can market, you can entertain people. That right there is the modern day martial artist. Okay? There's a just in case if something ever happened to me, someone could steal this idea from me. But there's like, I used to be an author, right? And there's this really cool idea that I've been like this sci-fi story that I want to create that I call it star spiders, right? And this is what's today's date? What is today's date? Because if anybody steals this idea, I'm suing you. As long as I'm alive, if someone steals this idea, I'm suing you. I call it star spiders, right? Basically, it's in the future, right? Where these particular characters have these abilities. And I don't know if there's going to be aliens or they're going to be fighting each other. I'm not sure quite yet. I've been drafting this for a long time. But basically, the way they get paid is that people stream through their eyes. They're like because it's the future. So they're like they have technology inside them where people can live stream through their eyes and pay money to watch their experience. I believe that's like that to me is the true nature of martial arts. That's what people really want to do. They want to see not just what you do with fighting, they want to see everything about you. They want to know how you think, they want to know what you eat, they want to know how you move, they want to know what you read, like that right there to me is where martial arts like that's the modern martial artist and it's going to keep going like that. The days of just being even actually, you know something crazy? Look at the old martial art fighters, right? I'm sorry, I'm like sore from training. The old martial art fighters, like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, the Chinese guys, right? What if you really pay attention to it, they showed fighting, but they entertained us. So they were making money off of showing them fighting. But then it devolved from the big screen into the cage, right? Where we just saw the fighting. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. Because why is it like if we really only cared about the fighting, why is it that we have press conferences? Why do we have that? Because communication is a martial art. People want to see, like, they want to see the gift of gab. They want to see the entertainment. I believe that comes from black culture, though. I think like the person who took like so if you look at the Chinese, right? They really like changed the way cinema seen martial arts, right? So they changed cinema and martial arts. They brought like the entertainment to the big screen. But if you want to know who was it that brought the entertainment of martial art, like a martial artist in reality, it was Muhammad Ali. Because before Muhammad Ali, they used, people used to just fight. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, was there press conferences? I'm not sure. I think there was, maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna have to fact check that. But I do know that Muhammad Ali, when he started talking shit, he was the first like troll, rage baiter. You get what I'm saying? What's good, Rob Nasty? We're talking about how martial arts, like the skill of martial arts today is money, is a generation of money, the ability to market, entertain. It's not just fighting. This is why fighters are broke today. And I was saying that what the Chinese did was they basically brought it to the big screen, right? And they generated money and entertainment right there. Because I believe a true martial artist goes beyond just fighting. Fighting is just an ingredient of the entire part of the mixture of the martial arts. But the person who brought it into reality was Muhammad Ali when he started talking shit, right? And then after that, so I said, I think black culture is what brought it into reality. So why do I say black culture? Like why? Because, and this is what everybody's actually asking for when they have these press conferences. But in Black American culture, because we can't just say any Black culture, it's Black American culture, okay? There was a concept called playing by the dozens, okay? Which is basically yo mama jokes, battle rap, roasting, that type of stuff, right? As when you are a Black person, and I'm sure Black people know, you grow up talking shit to each other, right? Like you grow up talking shit to each other. It's normal because in our culture, it's all about dominance. Now, the culture has changed over the years, but at the core of our culture, when it comes to intellectualism, it's dominance. It's dominance over the mental and the physical. Okay, so not only can I whoop your ass, but I can intellectually whoop your ass. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So what what Muhammad Ali did was he just brought the culture into the mainstream, and that captivated every fucking body. You get what I'm saying? That captivated everybody, right? So that right there was the explosion of the modern martial artist in real time, in reality, where you have a guy who is entertaining, like literally it's not scripted. You get what I'm saying? His communication, I've created a communication system. That's why I say communication is a martial art. His gift of gab, his battle rap skills was so damn good, people wanted to see more. And not only that, he was able to back that shit up. You get what I'm saying? That's what made Muhammad Ali so good. And then not only that, he went beyond the ring and he went socially political with like the war, not like saying a Viet Cong never called me a nigga. You get what I'm saying? That right there is a martial artist. And that carried on all the way up to Conor McGregor. You get what I'm saying? He calls himself Mystic Mac, the Notorious. Who is he? Who's the Notorious? Who's the original Notorious? Think about it. Who's the original Notorious? Come on, man. Come on, man. Who is it? Okay. So now I think the next, the BIG. Come on. I'm telling y'all, like people don't really like, people don't know, but black culture has a huge impact on the way martial arts moves forward in reality. And even like this is gonna blow you guys' mind. This is gonna blow your mind. There's a reason why people don't know this, but there's a reason why so many hip hop people follow me. Y'all don't know that, but there's a lot of hip hop producers and a lot of hip hop artists that follow me because I use their music with jujitsu. Go to all my highlights and just listen. They don't give me credit, but there's certain songs that I made go viral just mixing the way I move in martial arts with hip hop. People like I'm a student of the game. I've been paying attention to it. Black culture silently moves martial arts. People don't know. They're like, but it's okay. And then now I think the next goal, the next step to our evolution, which isn't black culture now, because black culture is just entertainment. I think that's really like we're rooted in entertainment. But I think now as fighters, and well, it might still be black culture because I'm one of the guys that's pushing this forward. Social media, right? Monetizing this shit. You get what I'm saying? Like being able to be a influence outside of you fighting, not political, right? I don't think. I pray, guys. I'm telling y'all right now. I hope I never have to go political or anything. Like be a political figure. I think like, oh my God, like it's. I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Like I don't mind talking political things, but when you, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know. There has to be something else, a different lane for me. Because the more intellectual you get, and you get political, then you join us. It's a space, and it's like it's a box that you get forced to be in. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be there. Because you want to know something real crazy? Let's take Donald Trump for example. I know some people probably listening, like, but if you really like, it trips me out. Donald Trump, before he went political, was a cool ass dude. Y'all don't even know that. Like that, like Donald Trump is perceived to be a racist. He's perceived to be all this stuff because when you go into politics, you get forced in a box. He was on WWE. I grew up watching Donald Trump. He was on WWE. He was in all of the rap music videos. They say Donald Trump don't like black people. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, rappers used to want to be Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump is the only president that I've seen pardon so many black rappers. People don't pay attention though, you know. But that's what happens. Like when you go into that sphere, I just hope I never have to go to that sphere. But what I want to figure out is how do we take martial arts to the next level on social media, like where you can go outside of the cage. Now, what I can explain to you guys that I've learned, that's why I say there's a difference between a martial artist and a fighter. What I have learned, what was I going to say? Okay. Yeah. So let's take MMA, for example. This is why I say it's so important that if you guys are fighters, you need to be something beyond fighting. You need to develop skills where you're not stuck to just fighting. So this, I'm a part of UNF now. I love saying that. I'm a part of the UNF roster for MMA, right? They look great. Had one fight. Because of my social media following and the skills that I kind of have, people are literally ducking me. And I don't know why. Because I'm like, there's still skills that I have to learn for my MMA fighting. Like, I'm getting better and better, but there's still a lot of stuff that I have to learn. But people don't want to deal with me. They really don't. They're like, nah, I'm literally being told by guys that, because I'm 1-0 right now. I'm literally being told that they need 3 or 4 fights before they fight me. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? They're like, nah, he's that's too high risk. I need more fights. I'm like, you think I'm not gonna be fighting still, dog? You know, you think I'm still like, anyways. So, but the whole point of me bringing up UNF is there's people right now, they're rushing trying to get to the UFC. They are rushing. They want to get to the UFC so bad. But for me, I'm just having fun. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't. They're rushing to get paid, right? Me, I'm like, well, where I'm gonna get paid from is you guys. Every day that we sit here and talk to each other, right? We get more viewers, we get more likes, right? I don't have to charge you guys a dime. I just have to fall in love with the process of getting to know you guys, and y'all get to know me, and more money gets generated. That's the cool thing about live streaming and stuff. And then you have some people that will eventually, once it gets too big, you're gonna have to probably do those super chats so I can read your chats. But right now, that's my focus because I'm a martial artist. It's not just about fighting to me. I just want to entertain you guys. I only go in the cage, literally, honestly, I promise to God, the only reason why I'm in this cage is for you guys. That's it. I only fight to entertain you guys. It's nothing else. So when I go and I'm in these interviews talking shit, these guys are desperate as fuck and I'm having fun. I'm like people just want to see people want to see me do jiu-jitsu and get punched in the face. That's really it. Like, I remember when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, everyone was like, oh, that wouldn't work in the cage. I was like, yes, the fuck it would. Bet. And it's like, well, try it. I was like, all right, you know? So that's why I'm here, you know? So that's the difference but the fighters, they're like, oh, I need to go to the UFC. I need to take the craziest fight right now to get to the UFC. I'm like, I don't need to do that, bro. Like, I got y'all. So that's the difference. You have more leverage as a martial artist instead of being a fighter. Let me read some comments. Someone said, just continue what you're doing and you're going to expand it. Eventually, you'll be meeting people like Rampage and streamers, and that's the viewership you need, in my opinion. Exactly. Rampage Jackson did it well. But I'm telling you guys, if you guys take out your racism, take out your biases, and look at things for what it is. Let's look at even Rampage Jackson. I really think that Black culture really shaped, it's like an underbelly shape. Like, I think Japanese culture, for example, shaped a lot of martial arts, like the way, the structure and stuff of martial arts. Like, I talked about it yesterday, how I love Japanese culture. I have a deep love for Japanese culture, right? But they're very rigid. And I think once it came over here in the States, you add a little Black flavor to it. Now, you know, We could get into it. We one of these days we're gonna go culture by culture of who in what influenced what, and the concoction of martial arts, and where and what other new culture could probably change the game next, right? Because even the Russians, right, or the Dagestani boys, they've changed the culture as well too. You get what I'm saying? But as far as entertainment goes, you got to look in the black culture if you want to see, like, if you're like, oh, martial arts is boring, look at, like, still right now the source of the new wave or the generation of better entertainment is coming from black culture. You know, we'll talk more about that, but you guys can say whatever you have to say, and we'll continue. But that would be a fun topic to talk about, like all the cultures that has changed martial arts, because martial arts is not just stuck. Like, even though I said, yeah, black culture helped martial arts gain reality entertainment. I'm not saying, oh, martial, like, we should bow down to blacks and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Anyways, someone said, me personally, I want to see you win, overcome every challenge, every time. Literally brings tears to my eyes. For some reason, I believe in you. Thank you. Big appreciate that. We getting there. We getting there. You said Jackie Chan is a GOAT. Yes, Jackie Chan is a GOAT. I said this last night. I said I didn't believe in Jackie Chan. Like, I hated his fighting style until I realized that right there was a true representation of real fighting in the real world. Like, that was a true representation. Someone, like, you like, you're in a room, the whole room becomes your weapon. And he's just moving. He got that drunken master flow. I mean, that shit was cool. I used to love Jet Li though. Jet Li was my dude, bro. Man, them Asians, them Chinese Asians, they don't make them like they used to, man. With the martial artists, I ain't seen one in forever. I think the problem is because now we have social media. So if you're coming online and you're like, or a movie of some sort, do we even watch movies anymore? And you start showing all these cool martial arts skills, people are gonna want to see if you can actually fight for real. Like, I even just seen like a weird video of Chris Hemsworth, or Thor, the actor who plays Thor. What's his name? He wants to do MMA. I'm thinking, what the fuck for? Why do you want to fight, dog? Like, why? You're making thousands of money, dog. You know. But something like, there's something like about fighting for us that just changes everything. Someone said yes because he actually got hit too. Jet Li was so fake to me, I couldn't stand it. I What I liked about Jet Li was he was very emotionless but expressive. That's what I liked about it. Because, like, you could tell Jet Li was inspired by Bruce Lee, but some charm to the way Jet Li did his stuff. Bruce Lee was like, I feel, without any other outside influence, Bruce Lee was okay, how do I say it? I think Asian men have been emasculated horrendously. And Bruce Lee was a huge representation of Asian masculinity, in my opinion. Like, the way how blacks are seen as threats, right? Bruce Lee embodied that Asian man's threat, if that makes sense. That confidence, the way he looked. Bruce Lee has some swag too. He had fashion sense, you know? But in the movies, Jet Li, I just like, I don't know. I used to love Jet Li, man. I used to love Jet Li. I hated Jackie Chan. I used to love Jet Li. But then now I'm older, and I could see I could see how cold Jackie Chan actually was. I'm glad I appreciated him. You know, it's kind of funny because the more that Asians mix with black culture, the more interesting it gets. Like, think about Rush Hour, for example. Like, Jackie Chan getting with Chris Tucker. It's such a fucking classic. You get what I'm saying? Because it's literally two polar opposites coming together. Like, two opposite cultures. One's expressive and one's with strength and stuff like that. So, Yeah, I got deep love for Asian culture. But then you got some cultures that blatantly steal our stuff and don't give us credit, like the Koreans. You know, the Korean. We'll get into that another time if you guys want to talk about that. Every time Jet Li hits somebody, they fly across the room. Jackie was more realistic, even though he made people do flips on contact. I have a healthy, I have a healthy fear of Asians because of these men, though. Well, so like let's look at the history of what these Asian men used to do. I don't know if Bruce Lee was into that, but like it's the theater. Like they came from I forgot what theater is called. Like all these guys, the reason why they move like that was the theater. So if you look at Chinese culture, is Jet Li Chinese? Is Jet Li Chinese or is he Japanese? What is he? Can someone tell me that? But because I'm assuming he's Chinese, so I can tell you guys based on the opera theaters that they came out of, and there's a lot of there is a bit of unrealisticness to the opera theaters that they have. Like it's like some mysticalness. So when you see Jet Li kicking people and they flying across the room, like that's literally true to the opera theater of what they used to do. But his was just more like crisp. You get what I'm saying? Like um you see it in the youngster generation at the gym. They want to prove a point. Same for that goof Thor actor that wants to fight. Had the easy way out with acting. Now it doesn't feel masculine. Yeah. But there's so many other ways to be masculine. But I guess no, I understand it. I understand it. Like I feel like fighting is the last get it out the mud type of environment. Because when you used to have like let me think like hip hop for example, like in order to be a rapper at one point you had to be real. You get what I'm saying? Um, to be a fighter. And I think that's what Bruce Lee was actually very what's the word? I feel like Bruce Lee was very insecure about the fact that the question was can he actually fight? So you see you always saw Bruce Lee trying to get prepared for a fight because he wanted to prove that he could actually fight, but he never fought. So everyone always like questions if Bruce Lee could fight. I don't know why the Thor actor wants to fight. I think that's weird, but I guess he just how old is he? I guess he just wants to feel masculine. But there's so many other ways to be masculine. Let's talk about that. Let me see. You said, nah, bro, Thor better know how to fight. I don't care who you are. You don't want to get punked. Yeah, you can lose a fight, but at least put up one. Who? Let's like fighting is that caveman with a spear type shit. Yes. Well, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate had recently had a fight and he lost. He did all that talking, all that posturing, and lost. That was very embarrassing. I think I don't think he needed to do what he did. He should have got a little bit more prepared. If I would have had he even has his own theme song, dude. If I was Andrew Tate, he definitely 100% needed no yes men. If you're of that caliber of influence, you need to take out your yes man. He should have had actual real fighters in that room with him, telling him if he's ready or not. You know, he gassed out. It just looked bad. So you're right. He better hope he don't get punked. But there are other see, but that's let's talk about that masculine ways, like ways to what other masculine ways are there? Because it's interesting. Like, is it possible that as a man you can do everything correct? Well, I guess that's the little boy in all of us. Every little boy unhealthily imagine themselves either dying like in a last stand, like battling waves and waves of people, or like winning in the last stand after battling waves and waves of people, broken and stuff like that. It's either or. You died in it or you overcame it, right? Um, and I think that probably is what it is. But then you have some men who don't have a need for that, right? But then are they really masculine? You know, are those types of men masculine? You get what I'm saying? There aren't any. Sometimes you just have to fight your guys. I'm sorry, call it caveman, but dang, yeah. Um, man, it's fighting is the last caveman sport, huh? It is. It is the last caveman sport. It's just I don't know. Fighting is cool. I don't really like getting hit in the face. It's cool, but I don't really like it. What I like is, to me, fighting is like chess. You know, I'm not really a fighter. I'm like I'm literally a spider, I would say. Or what's another word? Like that's why I love submissions so much. I love submissions. I don't have that knockout mentality. I don't know why. Like I can't because I have the abilities. I believe I have the abilities to knock people out, but I just can't. Let's talk about that. The psychology of a knockout artist and a submission artist. You know, like I cannot see the knockouts. Like when I'm training, like I mean, a couple of times I know how to spare people, right? There's a video. Oh, I didn't even post that video yet. Oh my god, I'm gonna post that when I get off. There's a video of me. I literally was like swinging, and then dude, I was looking at him drop his hands, and I did the most beautiful question mark kick and paused right at his face. Oh my god, it was some movie shit. Shit went viral on all the other pages. I have not posted that on here. Um, yeah, I can see the knockout, but that Mike Tyson killer mentality to do the knockout, I don't have it in me. But what I do have is the instinct that I can see. I promise you guys, you could put me in the room with anybody, and all it takes is this right here. Hey, go to all my videos, like if I'm about to fight, and you'll see me before I fight, you'll see me touch people and I bring them in and I hug them for a second. Pay attention to that. I get so much information right there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this on you, right? Like if I feel like your pull, it's so weird. Like I could look at someone and be like, I don't think you know how to get around that, right? Like the idea of choking somebody, um, like to sleep, or the idea of bending them and twisting them in a weird way and them tapping gets me going. Like I love that stuff. And then the fact that they once we're done, because like I could break them, right? Like I could break you, but it's so much more fun to put you in that position where your whole body locks up and you know I could have ended you. You know I could have, but then I don't do it. And you get up smiling, right? That right there to me as a submission artist, it's fun and it finishes the fight. Everybody understands submissions. I think that's what really got me like really known. Like I've emphasized submissions so much, and people don't understand it. Like they're like, oh, like why is Smitty so huge and I'm better than him and I've did this? It's because your fucking jujitsu is boring. You just show yourself hugging on people, bruh. Like finish the fight, submit them, you know? But I can't knock people out. I don't know why. Like I don't have the I don't know, like I don't have the instinct. Like I could tell if I went to war, I would be that type of dude that would have traps. Like I would be the worst person to have dealt with if I was like one of those Viet Congs back then. Oh my god, the Americans would have been looking for me. I would have had so much traps in that damn forest. Like that's the type of person I am. Like I love traps. I don't know. You say getting hit in the face ain't fun, but goddamn, it's one of the quickest ways to have an existential crisis and realize your weakness. Yes, it's so fucking humbling. You think you could sit there and study all day. You could study all fucking day. Like the theory of this and the theory of that. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. And then you fucking get punched in the face. And you're like, whoa, that hurt, you know? And it takes a different level of grit, a different level of like psychological endurance to get hit and pretend like that shit didn't hurt. To keep a straight face. Like, okay. You know, but that you're like, that's how I feel. If y'all ever see me get hit, I'll be thinking, like, but you got, you know, like, it's different, dude. Who's your favorite fighter? Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev. I was a fan of Islam before he was big. Huge fan of Islam. And I've gained a deep respect for Ilia Topuria these past few years. Deep respect. He's the reason why I've been like so focused on boxing, because I watched the jiu-jitsu guy become a boxer. And now all I do all day, I actually see boxing like jiu-jitsu now. Like man, my next fight, like, cause my first fight, I showed me kicking a lot. My next fight, I really want to show some hands. Like, I really want to show some hands my next fight. I want to really develop that skill set. Someone said, that's why you're the GOAT. You're a discerning fighter. If you had to knock someone, I'm sure you would, but I think someone's intent would make you do what's necessary. True. I've never, like, I've had many dudes, even some of the most biggest assholes, actually thank me. They're like, I appreciate that you, like, I was being an asshole the whole time we were going against each other, and I appreciate that you just spared me. You know, it just gives submissions, I don't know, submissions make you laugh. It makes you laugh when you get caught. You know, like, I've seen some of the most biggest dudes who act serious smile when I submit them, you know? And it's a deep level of respect. It's like it's a weird friendship that's born from there, you know. You're on early this evening. I told you. Remember, I said yesterday. I said I'm gonna try to get on at 7. I said, but if you guys see me on earlier, that means I have something to do at 7. I told you though. I promised y'all I was gonna be on. I just got out of jiu-jitsu class, walking home currently. Well, you good? We have like a whole another hour. Because I want to be on live 2 hours a day. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure I talk to you guys 2 hours a day. But yeah, the cycle, like, and then we look at a dude like Mike Tyson, because trust me, there's a different mentality of knocking out someone and submitting someone, right? I think there's also a different mentality of just playing the game. So let's take Floyd Mayweather, for example. Let's take him, for example. Everyone hates Floyd Mayweather, right? They're like, oh my God, he's such a boring fighter. But he embodied boxing. Floyd Mayweather is what boxing actually is. Boxing is not fighting. Do y'all understand that? Boxing is not fighting. It's close to fighting, but it's not fighting. It really isn't. Boxing, you're supposed to hit and not get hit. That, like, fighting, a fight is a brawl. Like, when I teach people martial arts, when I'm like sitting back teaching martial arts, I tell that to my students all the time. I say, like, yeah, we're going over strikes, right? But you guys need to know the difference between martial arts and actual fighting. You need to understand the difference. Like, you need to understand like when they say let your hands go, the best person who I have been studying so hard that does it really well is Terrence Crawford. If you listen to Terrence Crawford's story growing up, listen to it. He said he grew up fighting in the street, and then his mom put him in boxing. I believe it was his mom. So Terrence Crawford is a fighter that learned how to box. What is a fighter? A fighter is a brawler. That's really what a fighter is. He's really a brawler. He gets into it. He's going to get hit. I would even say Khabib Nurmagomedov, if you really kind of think about it, he wasn't really a fighter either. Like, he wasn't a martial artist. He wasn't a fighter. He just played the game. There's guys who just play the game. And those guys have the biggest like longevity. He played the game and got the fuck out. You get what I'm saying? So there is but that style gets criticized over time. I've noticed that undefeated. If you want to be undefeated, you have to play the game. You're in love with just cheesing the system. You get what I'm saying? Someone said, "Keep going, bro. I hope to see you in UFC main card soon." Hell yeah! You said boxing is a chess match. Oh, let's go back to that. Yeah. So Terrence Crawford. If you watch Terrence Crawford fight, right? Terrence Crawford, at some point, he's boxing. He's boxing. But the biggest problem is, and once again, I'm gonna bring back black culture of how black culture is shaping martial arts, and that's what Canelo could not deal with. Um, he gonna fade you. You gonna catch a fade at some point with Terrence Crawford. Let me explain to you guys who do not understand what catching a fade is. In black culture, if you go to a barbershop and you say, "Hey, I would like to get a fade," well, they'll take the clippers and they would shave around your head, right? So if someone in black culture say, "Let's catch a fade," they're talking about like let's brawl, basically. Like let's not box. Like you see them boxing, right? You see them start, but they at some point, whoop, 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 they start swinging on each other. If you watch Terrence Crawford, at some point he start catching a fade with them, and then once they separate, you see him like relax his arms, and he gets right back into boxing. So that right there, they call it on YouTube. I love the YouTube striking analyst on YouTube. They called it a technical brawler, and to me, that right there was so huge. Like Terrence Crawford uses his boxing to enter a technical fade, like he to enter a brawl, a fade. Like that's what Terrence Crawford does, and that's the difference between like a fight. Like boxing is not fighting; it really isn't. But you can make it a fight. You know, that's when you see like when two guys start swinging, you hear the announcer say, "Oh, now we have a fight." You see what I'm saying? Like so. That's what people really want to see. People want to really see fades. They want to see brawls. That's why fights are kind of boring. If you go in UFC, you could have two dudes like this is the real thing. In UFC or just MMA in general, you can have two dudes standing up with each other. They're striking, and we think these guys we think the audience want to see just the striking, but they want to see like a brawl. That's really what they want to see because you can have two dudes sitting back striking back and forth, like they're measuring, they throw a kick here, they throw a jab there, but the fucking fight's boring. But Smitty, it was a stand-up fight. And then you can have two dudes come in and the whole fight, they rolling on the floor. But the shit is exciting as fuck. Cause you see they swinging, they elbowing, they slipping, they falling. That shit is exciting to see. That's what people really want to see. And that's why to me, I love submissions. That's why I love submissions because my style is I create chaos. I'm like, I know like I'm just gonna overstimulate your mind until you fuck up and I see it, I'm gonna jump on it, and it's exciting to watch. That's literally what I'm doing. Like when I'm getting ready for a fight, I make sure my cardio is abnormally ready because I know that I want to incite chaos. That's what I want to do. So anybody that's watching me, that's scouting on me, be prepared because it's going to be chaotic. That's how I like to fight. I like to come very chaotic on them. And it's like a technical chaos. It's technical chaos. I was typing Chat GPT. It called me a systemized scrambler. It said that the more complex I can make the situation, the more clear everything gets to me. I was like, that is insane. That was an insane diagnostic. It says, hey man, just scrolling through. Hope things are great for you. Don't give up on your dreams. Dropping a thumbs up. Have a great day and happy life. Thank you. Appreciate you. You said my favorite boxer is Emmanuel Augustus. I don't know who that is. I have been like I'm still studying the Four Kings right now of boxing. Ever since I started getting into boxing, I started studying, I've been doing my history. There was one dude who, I don't know if people were slow or his defense was just that good. But there's this old tubby dude, right? I forgot his name. but he he never got hit, and it was just the way he did his footwork. Like his footwork was so good that his head moved like he just wouldn't get hit. And I have been so captivated by that. I forgot his name. I'm gonna have to look into that. It's like an old, like the videos of him is in black and white, but he was that fucking good. Like you could not hit him. He like, but it's kind of funny though. You want to know what's so funny about this character? He could literally be a character in a book. He he wouldn't get hit, but he had no power in his punches. He had no power. So so you imagine you're fighting a guy, right? Who you cannot hit, and but he like his hits don't hurt. Like he just touches you. Point, 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 point. You know, my bad if the thing messed up. But point, point, like it was amazing. It was funny as fuck. And he would he was just relaxed. That's what I heard. Like he was so relaxed. They said that what did they say? They said I think he's the one who got that term jump off the couch. There was a story of him where they was like he was getting ready for a world champion, and everyone went to they went to his opponent's locker room. The dude was sweating, he was getting ready, he was locked in. And then when they went to his locker room, his manager's like, shh, he's taking a nap. Like, what, bro? Like, they said that he said wake him up when it's time to fight. Dude came up there right before he got a fight. He smoked a cigarette. A fucking cigarette, dog. Didn't get hit the whole time. World champion. That's a fucking amazing to me, dude. I want to do that. What do you think of traditional disciplines like Kung Fu? I think they're highly overrated because of the movies. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I think traditional martial arts, let's talk about the pros and the cons. Traditional martial arts builds incredible athletes. That's all it is. That's it. They build incredible athletes that don't know how to fight. Like if you look at all of the kung fu movies, the way like they prepare, like that's athletic training. That's all it is. That's athletic training. But the con is that they think because I worked so hard, that equals fighting ability. No. All you did was create imagine you go to the gym, right? And you do bench press a lot. You get strong at bench press. Just because you're strong at bench press don't mean you know how to fight. You get what I'm saying? So for Kung Fu, they built fight specific bench press maneuvers, right? That's based on calisthenics and body weight. And it just looks like they know how to fight, but they don't know how to fight. So I think traditional martial arts has merit. I think it's good, but that's just the problem with that's if you study Chinese culture, a big problem is delusion. And what I mean by that is mysticism. Over what the Chinese do a lot. What they do a lot is their historical figures become gods. So like let's take the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, right? Dynasty Warriors, if you guys know about video games. But let's take Guan Yu, for example. Guan Yu was a regular dude that was just a fucking great general, right? But they made him a god in like a god in their folk here. He's an actual Chinese god now, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So there's just moments where they believe they're not grounded in reality. Like they systematize stuff, but then how do I say this? That's why the Japanese is so cold. Because what the Japanese did was they paid attention. Really, if you really study Japanese history too, all the Japanese did, and the Koreans are guilty of this shit too. But and we'll get into the Koreans. They did it with black people. The Japanese looked at them. They looked at they systems, and they copied all they shit. They like the Japanese copied so much shit from the Chinese. Even in they like, if you study the Japanese language system, they literally took Chinese characters out, right, and put it in their stuff, and they just systematized it and grounded it in reality. So if these kung fu boys, if all they simply did was go through the kung fu stuff that they do, and actually went through boxing and or some type of kickboxing or learned some jujitsu, right? These motherfuckers would be dominating, dog. They would be or they would be a problem. They would be a problem. That's what's going on with the Japanese. The Japanese, they go through traditional karate, right? I'm telling you, them Japanese people got it. They went through traditional karate, then turned around and learned some actual boxing and learned some Muay Thai, right? Or no, they learned kickboxing, right? Add some elbows and some knees or whatever. And this is why they dominate like K1 and stuff. You get what I'm saying? If them Chinese boys, if all they simply, to answer your question, I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited. Basically, Kung Fu is not bullshit. It's the culture that makes, it's the delusion inside of a good culture that's making it bullshit. That's what I have to say about that. You know, because I think it's legit. It makes it like they are the first fighter athletes, if that makes sense. Like they have all the drills to create monstrous fighters, but they don't. And that's what makes the Russians so cold. The Russians have drills to make monstrous wrestlers, basically. But they're grounded in reality so cold that they're like, when you read a manga off or bet off or off, you're like, oh my God, I know I'm about to deal with someone who's disciplined and been training forever since they were children to to hug me to death. All right, let me continue. Let me read some of you guys' stuff. Let me see. Someone said, "What's up, brother? First time here. Y'all talking fights? We're talking everything. We're talking everything. We talk everything in here. Y'all ever notice how martial arts are similar to the elements they bend in Avatar, wrestling, sambo, even judo would be earth, BJJ water, kung fu air, and Muay Thai and boxing fire? Too nerdy." Avatar actually takes extreme inspiration from Chinese martial arts. Chinese martial arts is basically literally there's two different styles. It's soft and hard style. That's it. And it's based off of circular rotation and stuff. Like, it's really cool. Like I wanted to, like, one of these days when I get a chance to, I've been studying Japanese a lot, but one of these days when I get a chance to, I want to study Chinese so I can, because the thing about the thing about Chinese is that they have a book, literally a book of just information of theories of fighting, right? And I'm sure, like, if somebody, I think it would be great YouTube content. First off, I think it would be great YouTube content if someone really went and just explained all of the Chinese styles. Like, that would be so fucking interesting to watch, right? But the problem is, like, Chinese is a hard language to learn, and all these books are like, you have to really go dig and look for them. And it's the same with we'll go into it, but like that's a fun topic to talk about. But yeah, Avatar took a lot from China, like China. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not bullshit. They're just delusional, right? No one's like, it goes back to like in the 2010s. I said this yesterday, where that Yao Shodong or whatever his name is, the MMA fighter dude, he was trying his best. He was knocking out a bunch of the Chinese martial artists because he was trying to show them, like, hey, Like them Westerners, they're like this MMA stuff is legit. We need to bring this to our stuff. And I think honestly, you want to know some real shit? If the Chinese folk, I think I spent too much time talking about this. I'm sorry guys, but if the Chinese folk went through kung fu and then turned around and went into MMA, right? Like started studying the art of MMA, they might be problems, you know? Like they really like systematized MMA, there'll be a problem. Because if you look at the Japanese, they systematize striking. They don't want to do no MMA shit. Even the Thais, they systematize striking. The Russians has systematized MMA very well. Americans, we're still very like stuck to boxing. And that is due to black culture though. Like people, like I know I keep bringing up black culture, but the underbelly of America's entertainment is black culture. I promise you guys. When you learn the history, like people don't know this stuff, you know? So I think jujitsu kinda is in our culture, but it's not there yet. It's like no one's really captivated people quite yet with jujitsu. And wrestling is fucking boring. I'm sorry. So let me see. I fucking love this. It's true. Baki is only is only still cool in Baki, and even then he's dead now. Talk about the character Baki. Let me talk about that. Can I tell y'all something? I know everyone loves Baki, but I'm a nerd. I'm an anime fan. This is gonna throw people off. I can't stand that. I can't stand Baki. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. It's just like oh my god. Like the art is beautiful, but I'm a sucker for storytelling. I'm such a sucker for storytelling. I remember now I'm not saying it's a bad story, but it was written. I just wish Baki was written by a modern author. That's what I would say. I just wish it was written by a modern author because that author comes from a time where the plot could kind of in creative writing, because I have used to be a writer before. I still consider myself a writer. You have a concept called pantsing and plotting. Okay, so pantsing is basically you make up shit as you go, and then until you find the plot itself. Plotting, which I used to hate when I used to write, is where you from beginning to end, you know what's happening. You know how this story is going to end. Baki, back then, around the time it was created, a lot of these mangaka authors were pantsers. They kind of roughly had an idea where they were going, but they made shit up. That's why a lot of those old animes take forever to get to the point. Like everyone's like, oh, you gotta wait like 100 chapters before it gets good, because they were trying to figure this shit out. And once they kind of figured out what they was talking about, then the story goes where it needs to go. That's why I struggled to get into One Piece. Baki, that what else? There's other ones too. Bleach was cool. Naruto was a little bit more plot, but it went pantsing in the end too. Yeah. Yeah. We can talk more about anime too. I love anime. For you guys who don't know, oh my god. If y'all knew how that I keep telling y'all I got deep love for Japanese culture. They have shaped. I'm a video game nerd. We can talk about video games, like of the state of what has happened to video games. Because I was gonna be I sound so fake when I be saying all this shit. It's so funny. I'd be laughing. I've been through everywhere, but I was gonna be at one point when I was 19 years old, or 20. I was gonna be a game designer, you know. And instead, I was like, I don't know. When I was looking around, like I was like, do you want this to represent you? So instead of game design, I got into writing, and then I was gonna be a creative writer, an erotic creative writer. I was actually gonna be published at the time. That's when 50 Shades of Grey was huge, and then I got into music, right? And I fell in love with music. And then while learning music, I got into martial arts. That's kind of like everything that happened. And I grew up as an athlete. So there we go. You said fuck yeah, I'm in the right place. You said kung fu is legit. It is, bro. Ain't nothing legit about kung fu. It is. I think it is legit. I think kung fu is legit. I think if you if you watch like these kung fu dudes can literally handstand on pillars and walk. Can you do that? I can't do that, and I know I could beat their ass, but I can't do that. You know, so the athleticism is where it's at. You say I see the Eastern martial arts are taking an avatar for sure. No, it's literally like the creator said. That's literally like when they do all that stuff in Avatar. Like that's Chinese martial arts. That's Chinese martial arts forms. Um, but only the athleticism, nothing more is applicable to real fighting. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I said like if they all it takes is for somebody like the government, if the Chinese government really gave a fuck, because they could the Chinese government could literally just change the whole game. They could make a mandate. All right, we do kung fu, but after that, it's mandatory that you guys become athletically good or tactically and strategically good in MMA. The whole overnight we would see a bunch of Chinese champions. No, it would only take 2 or 4 years. I promise you it would. We know we have no kung fu champions in MMA for a reason. They can't fight. No, they exactly. But it all it takes is a nationwide mandate, and in 2 or 4 years you would see it because they have it. They are just as problematic as the Russians, but and I don't know what it would. I don't know where they would be at. I don't know if it'll be in their jujitsu. I don't know if it'll be in their striking. I don't know if it'll be how they blend it all together. But they're a problem somewhere. Them motherfuckers a problem somewhere. How about Wonder Boy and Michael Venom Page? Wonder Boy and Michael Venom Page are karate guys. They're karate guys. Um, that is I have like my style is actually very karate. Like my first martial art was karate. When I got into karate when I was 20. My first like if you got when you guys watch me kick and stuff, I even attribute the reason why my triangle chokes is so good is because of karate. You know, um, all karate needed out, man. If I could go back in time to that young 20-year-old and just put my mind into that young guy, um, I would be a fucking problem because all karate needs is boxing and jujitsu. That's all karate needs. To modern karate, that's all it needs. If you look at the Japanese, just look at them. Their striking is so beautiful. Their striking is so beautiful, but they can't like go into MMA because it's crazy for a place that jujitsu originated from. These dudes are ass at jujitsu. I don't know how that happened. You you said I don't know how people go into roles laughing and talking. I always have a sense of seriousness. I can't be joking before or during a role. That's a real skill. Did I miss something? No, I didn't. So you said like you struggle to it depends. If I'm competing, I'm not laughing. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Like I'm trying. I want to break your soul when I'm competing. Like and I want to do it in such a finessey way, with zero emotion. You know, like you gonna see you'll see me smiling in my movements. Like there's certain things you guys see it. There's certain things I do that gives what I did a little bit of charm. That's the most personality you're gonna see me when I'm competing. Sometimes in rolling, I kind of learned to chill out because these are my training partners, you know, and they've blessed me with the ability to record in the gym and post it online, and it's no hard feelings. You get what I'm saying? So I do kind of I I've learned I've learned to make it about the technique and not the role itself. That's what I've learned in the gym, and that's what I do. It's all about the technique. I used to when I first used to post online, I used to say he did this, he didn't like this. The titling was very personal kind of. And I didn't mean it to be, but it was. That's what it was perceived to be. So now I just, if you like, pay attention. If you go look at my videos now, it would say triangle choke, Kimura, this. Like I just stick with the move now. So I think like you could laugh, you could talk. I think you could be serious if you want to, but during roles, kind of try your best to make it lighthearted. It doesn't have to be that serious. But when you compete, this shit ain't funny. Like you know, this shit ain't funny. like, right. Like, cause I think it's embarrassing to maybe that's the Jet Li in me. When Jet Li used to fight, that shit was cool. He was like that shit was cool. That shit was cool. Not champions, but they compete in MMA. Wait, my bad. Were there champions in any other promotions? Wonder Boy never got to be a champion. That's so sad. He got close so many times, but he never got to be a karate champion. He never got to be a karate champion. Yes, or MMA champion that represents karate. I don't know how people go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You said yeah, but Japan took the arts from China and simplified it. I wouldn't say simplified. They systematized it. No. We like. I agree with all you. Damn, I think you guys are. I must be behind. You guys are typing. I love it. Let me see. Love your jiu-jitsu, bro. Very entertaining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You see, I'm meaning when you roll in, I'm a white belt and I have to focus. Oh, so you're at that level where you are still focusing. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. If you rolled with me, I would make you laugh. I'm gonna tell you how. See, people be complaining. They be like, "Oh, you're beating up on noobs in your gym." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I haven't posted those videos." I might when someone's, but I'm gonna make sure that I put a commentary over it because there's a big difference of an actual person that's a real white belt and someone who I just outsmarted them. Depending on your skill level, so let's say for you, sports, the what I do, it's kind of an asshole move, but it's funny and it's educational. I am going to do the same submission to you as much as possible in our role. I'm gonna find out what submission you're not good that you can't defend, and I'm going to submit you. I'm literally going to try to submit you 10 times in one roll with that same submission over and over and over and over and over. And I'm going to literally be trying. Like, I'm going to literally be trying. Why? Because number one, Floyd Mayweather said it best, and Gordon Ryan also said it best too. They said if you want to get good, at your techniques, find somebody in your gym that's lesser skilled than you and do the same move over and over and over again. And then what I like, so Floyd didn't say that. What Floyd said was the way he developed his Philly shell was he went in the gym and he found lesser fighters and he worked on new stuff with them. So he was able to experiment. What Gordon Ryan said was to graduate your skill set. So, for example, let's say for you sport, let's say you're a white belt. I know you're a white belt, so I start doing an arm bar. I'm gonna explore all arm bars as much as possible on you. Once I feel like I can reliably get the arm bar, then I'm gonna go look for the blue belt. I'm gonna try it on the blue belt. Once I can reliably keep hitting it on the blue belt, then you go to the purple belt and you see where it's going. You're graduating your technique. And that's what I do. I graduate techniques. And that was a concept that Gordon Ryan said. So when people be like, "Oh my God, you're rolling with lesser guys," I'm like, I'm just graduating techniques. That's all I'm doing. And then once I get to the competition, like I can literally feel, because I call it submission weakness. I believe everyone has a submission weakness. And there is a reason. There's a reason why I've never posted my losses. I would love to post my losses, but I've been submitted by the same exact thing. And it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. I'm never gonna tell you guys what it is. I'm never gonna say what the fuck it is. But in all my losses, it's been and it's like random losses too. It'll be like some weird dude who specializes in this one particular fucking thing. And I always laugh every time because I'm like, God damn it. But no one knows what it is. And if I show it, then everybody's gonna fucking go for it, you know? But yeah, everyone has a submission weakness. So what I do, there's 6 families of submissions, okay? And every day when I go into the gym, I ask myself, okay, I'm working on this one today. I'm working on this one today. I'm working on this one. I'm working on this one. And I just keep graduating all the skill sets, right? So when I'm rolling with someone, I'll be fishing. Where are you a white belt at? Like, because that means like, oh, so let's go back to the armbar. Let's say I'm going against a purple belt, right? And I'm noticing that his reactions to what I did on a white belt, he's doing it. He's doing white belt reactions that leads to an armbar. Then I'm thinking, I'm gonna armbar you. That's literally what's going on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna armbar you. And that's why you guys see certain submissions come out of nowhere. Because the whole time I was fishing for that. Like, so you sound meaning when you rolling armbar, if I stack you, you can't finish it, right? Armbar is a little bit different. Because I anticipate the stack. I actually like when people stack me. Because so what ends up happening is when I have the armbar, right? And the moment a person starts stacking me, I take my arm and you can go literally under the person to their far knee and you spin under them and you flip them. And visually, the shit looks so cool. So if you stack me, I'm like, perfect. And I spin and I flip and now I'm on top of you with an armbar. And if I can finish you fast enough, I can do a highlight clip now. I've been armbarring the shit out of people lately. So maybe I'll post that real soon so you guys can see what the fuck I'm talking about. But I love when people stack me in the armbars. I've been working specifically on that. With the armbar, the proper defense is, yes, it is how you stack them, but it comes down to the positioning of your knees when you stack them, right? And then also knowing when to, because sometimes like the more tense you are when you're like defending an armbar, that actually goes out of your favor. So at some point you have to noodle your arms and pull it out, but you have to know when you're going to be doing that. You say, I hear when you're a white belt in jiu-jitsu, the goal is to survive. The goal is to get submitted. I hate when black belts say that shit. Just survive. No. Get submitted. Get submitted. So now let me go into why I do the same submission. So let's go back to you, sport. Let's say I kept armbarring you like 10 times or 15 times inside of one session. I've done that before. Let me tell you a funny story. There was this woman who I would train with, and I straight ankle locked her ass every single day, over and over and over and over and over. And like I experimented so many straight ankle locks on her. And one day she got fucking tired of it. And she started preemptively stopping me from straight ankle locking her. So she started seeing, like she got submitted so many times that she started seeing the pattern. And that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to submit you so many times until you see the pattern because you're my training partner. I need you to see this shit. So then once you show me a different reaction, now you have elevated our role for me to try brand new reactions to armbar you again. And then after a while, you are going to get so good at fucking defending armbars that I have to elevate if I want to keep armbarring you. You see what I'm saying? So, and then let me finish the story. We went to a competition and I watched a girl try to straight ankle lock her. That girl, and the girl was straight ankle locking everybody. She could not straight ankle lock her. And everyone was looking, and it was funny, like mid session of it going down, while the girl was trying to straight ankle lock her, she looked up at me laughing. Like, you see what she's doing? Like, because I had straight ankle locked her so many times. So she knew where she was safe at. She was just chilling. Like, do you see what I'm saying? That's the whole point of why I would submit you with the same thing over and over and over and over, because I'm going to raise your defense up. So people wonder, like, how is it that how is it that I'm able to defend myself so well? Like, what is the secret? The secret is when I was a white belt, for FYI, for you guys who don't know, I did like 10 competitions or 15 competitions as a white belt, and I lost all of them. I used to get my ass whooped as a white belt. But when I turned blue belt, one day I got so pissed off. I said, this shit's not happening again. And I started winning after that. Um, and that's, it's okay to get your ass whooped. The goal is to get submitted. No one cares about your white belt days. No one cares. Like, in my opinion, this is the perfect time to try stupid shit. Like, try this, try that, try to go for that, try to go for that. Give yourself up, fall into bad positions. Let people not take you serious, and laugh when you get submitted. Like, keep trying, keep trying. Go try to roll with the black belts. Go try to roll with the brown belts. Let them fuck you up. Because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing the patterns of what they're doing. And once you start catching up, you're going to start noticing shit is going to start reversing. Where now you become you was the easiest role, but now people are actively ducking you because for some reason they can never get nothing on you. But they don't remember the days of you getting fucked up, but you do. You get what I'm saying? What is your prediction on a potential fight between Taporia and Islam? I said this last night. I think it's gonna come down to strength. Yep. It's gonna come down to who's stronger than who. That's my belief. It's gonna come down to who's stronger than who. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the problem is Islam's striking is good, but I do think Taporia can knock him out. I think Taporia can knock his ass out. But Islam is a smart fighter. So the way to victory, in my opinion, is for Islam to grab Taporia and wrestle his ass. The clinch, wall wrestling, getting them on the ground. It's going to be very difficult, though. But the reason why I say it comes down to strength is because both of these guys have a skill set that nobody's talking about. And they're both upper body takedown specialists. Okay? So Taporia came from a Greco background, and Islam is very upper body heavy with his takedowns. So it's literally gonna come into, and when I watch that fight, it's gonna come. I'm gonna be waiting for them to clinch. They would clinch at some point. They're gonna clinch each other at some point, and we're gonna see the moment I find out who's stronger than the other. I'm like, that person's gonna win, because if Islam is stronger than Taporia, then when Taporia comes in with his boxing, Islam can clinch him and then take him down to the ground. If Taporia is stronger than Islam, then he can push Islam off of him and continue his boxing and knock Islam out. I don't think Islam's striking, his upper body striking, is better than Taporia's. I remember I told you guys that striking is a tale of two cities, where there's upper body, your boxing, and lower body, your kicks. I think what Islam showed very well in that JDM fight is that he is developing his kicks. He is. But the best way to deal with a kicker is to pressure him. And Ilia Taporia has mastered pressuring people. I don't think them kicks is going to work. I think Islam would have to clinch him, keep him at a distance, kick him. And if Islam is stronger, he can win. I think Islam would submit Taporia if we find out he's stronger. You said Bryce Mitchell took him down. Islam probably is going to be stronger. I don't know, because I don't know, to be like, yeah, Bryce Mitchell did take him down, but like Taporia's a smart man. He's probably getting stronger because we have to keep in mind that Taporia has to. Okay, there we go. We have to like. We ain't even talking about conspiracies today. What's going on? This thing's freezing. Anyways, what I was saying was Taporia has to go up to 170. Okay. And when Taporia goes like that means his strength is going to get better. It should be relative to Islam's. That's why I'm like I don't know. It's gonna come down to who's stronger. That Islam versus Taporia. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this though. I'm gonna tell you this, and I mean this with all my heart. Justin Gaethje is getting knocked the fuck out. He is getting knocked the fuck out. They did they confirm that? They said that he's fighting Taporia in the house in the White House card. That's confirmed, right? He's getting knocked the fuck out. It's good that Patty lost because they were trying to make Patty fight Taporia, and that was gonna be such a legendary press conference. It was gonna be such. Why don't you drink sugar free or on a? Why don't you drink sugar free on a diet? Are you talking about why I don't drink sugar free? I'm gonna let you see if I'm gonna see if that's what you're asking me. But yeah, like I wanted to see that. That was gonna be so fucking funny. But I knew Patty was gonna get knocked the fuck out though. Patty would get knocked out by Ilya too. But Justin Gaethje's definitely getting knocked out. That performance was abysmally bad. They go, and it's funny too. The MMA media always does this. They hype people up. See, let me tell you something about Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje does incredibly well against non-name brand fighters, but he performs terribly with name brand fighters. So someone would say, well, Paddy Pimblett was a name brand fighter, right? Not really. He was charismatic, but Paddy is not a name brand fighter, okay? Like, he's not. He's charismatic, but he's like, he has the potential. He has the aura for it, but he's not a name brand fighter, okay? Ilya Taporia, in a weird way, is not a name brand fighter, but for other fighters, he's a name brand fighter. And when I say name brand fighter, a name brand fighter incites fear in you. So like me, for example, in amateur scene, when people deal with me, I am a name brand fighter, right? Like before you guys think I'm just tooting my own horn, a name brand fighter means they have some type of notoriety. There's something about them that you have to fucking worry about, right? So if anybody that fights me, what they have to worry about when they go on my page, they literally see my stuff is sitting right there. You can study me all you want. But then the problem becomes when you study me, you find out that I'm good at all submissions. I'm a submission artist. So now you're like, well, fuck. You could train for jiu-jitsu. You can, but it doesn't fucking matter because I'm going to figure you out. So now you have to do something else. You have to maybe knock me out. You probably got to do that. But that's why I've been desperately trying to get my striking up. That's why I don't miss no striking days. You know, that my striking is getting better and better every day. Ilya Taporia inspired the shit out of me when I seen that. I said, wow, you can actually become a knockout artist, you know, as a grappler. But back to Justin Gaethje. When it's a name brand fighter, when there's something that you have to worry about, he always fucking folds every single time. So Ilya Taporia is a name brand fighter in terms of, for the other fighters, he's going to knock you the fuck out. Justin Gaethje is going to go out there. He's already been knocked out by Pillow Hands Max Holloway. What the fuck do you think is going to happen to a dude like Ilya Taporia? He's getting knocked out. Like you that's an easy night. That's an easy betting money night. I wouldn't be surprised if Taporia is minus 1,000 or something. That's an easy night. I think he'll get knocked down in round 1 or 2. It's going, bro. They better have other good fights on that card. Because I am definitely stream Easting that shit. Let me see. Why don't you drink? Okay, I know you're cutting weight. It would help with calorie. Okay, so my problem is I'm addicted to this shit. That's my problem. I'm addicted to this shit. Um, but the other things that I do I only drink this for stimuli. So like for to be on live, I'm drinking it. If I'm gonna go jump rope, I would drink it. Um, but other than that, like diet, like that's my only vice. You guys literally watch my only vice. Everything else, I'm extraordinarily disciplined when it comes to diet. Like extraordinary. I eat properly when it comes to diet. But that's my only vice. That literally is my only vice. Um, Dustin always folds in big fights. I was talking about Justin Gaethje, but Dustin Poirier, mm, I just think he just. I just think I don't think Dustin Poirier folds. I just think he just happened to be misfortunate of having to go through some of the greatest grapplers of this generation. Dustin Poirier went against Habib Nurmagomedov for the title, and he went against Islam Makhachev for the title. Like, who else did he go against? Anybody else for a title, or was it just those two? It was just those two, right? Like, it's just fucking unfortunate that you had to go against the pound for pound greatest of all time for a title shot. And I when he went against, dude, I don't remember that fight. See, that is so sad. Did he lose? Like, was it decision that he lost to Habib, or did he lose? Did he get submitted? And then I know Islam got his ass eventually. Yeah, bro. Like that he got so Habib. No. Dustin Poirier, not Justin Gaethje. I remember Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje does not impress me. Dustin Poirier is a different one. You know, Justin Gaethje got subbed. He came in terrified. And you wanna know what's so sad? You wanna know what's so fucking sad? Justin Gaethje could have actually beat Khabib. He could have. He could have beat Khabib. He could have. You know, like Justin Gaethje is such a wild card. He's such a like he changed MMA history forever because of that fight with him and Tony Ferguson. Like the way he whooped Tony Ferguson's ass. Like you wanna know something funny about it? That fight made me realize how much you have fighters that actually feed off the crowd. I think if Tony Ferguson had a crowd for that fight, I think he would have fucked Justin Gaethje up. But because he didn't have a crowd and it was just like, just them fighting, he didn't lock in. But I do think Tony Ferguson would have made I think Tony Ferguson was Habib's kryptonite. I really do. He would have Khabib was gonna bleed with Tony Ferguson. Prime Tony Ferguson, he was gonna bleed. Like they say, oh, he's never bled before. Oh, he was gonna fucking bleed. You know, El Kakui was cold when he was in his prime. That he was you know what? It's so funny. I need to study him. El Kakui was cold with it in his prime. And what's the update on Diddy? I don't know. I know, ain't he just serving his time? Let me see. You said, I hope we see Cocaine Connor one last time at the White House. Um, who would Conor McGregor fight at this point? We need to let him go. How old is he? He's like 38. We need to let him go. We need to let him go. Let that go. We gotta let Conor McGregor go, dog. We have to. As a like MMA is so like washed when it comes to personalities that everybody still talks about Conor McGregor. And then like what Ronda Rousey's getting ready to fight too. It's like, bro, like leave that shit in the 2010s, man. Oh my God. Like, what is it? Like what? Like I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. It's just interesting. Like I'm like, what do like all Conor McGregor is doing at this point is ruining his legacy. I remember he came in and what did he do? He beat Donald Cerrone. Like that was the last like win. He came in, he shoulder bumped, and then he had everybody fucking like and then he went against what Dustin Poirier, and then he lost, and then he got knocked out. then he turned around. You said Nick. Yeah. Are you serious? Are you serious? Nick Diaz is coming back too? Oh my god. Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz. Oh my god, bro. Like it's like well, you know what? That's a topic. What can MMA do at this point? What can UFC and MMA do at this point? Because I feel like I'm so sorry, everybody, for all the coughing, but I feel like we have seen all what we need to see. That's really the problem. That I think that's why Dana White is so bored with this. We have seen everything at this point. What can MMA and UFC do to make this more interesting? They don't like this. Like I would say the 2010s and even kind of lockdowns. Well, the 2020s, the 2020 lockdowns, like that right there, it had the biggest array of name brand fighters more than ever. I don't think I could play like we used to be able to play UFC, right? And at least we knew what fighter was what. Like you would know 10 different fighters on the roster. Like it's kind of like Mortal Kombat. You know, if you play Mortal Kombat, right? Like there's some weak ass characters, but you know who that character is, right? So UFC used to have that. They used to have a roster, right? Now, I bet you if they make a new UFC game, I wouldn't know who the fuck none of these dudes are. I'm like, who is this? You know? To the point UFC don't even like they don't even promote they shit no more like that. Like what could they do? What can MMA do in general? Let me see. You said John Jones is exhausting too. Yes. All these dudes, they're old. Like that's the thing people don't understand. It's not that they're being like I mean maybe it is they're being weird, but they're old. They're old. And when you're older, you have to pick your battles wisely. Do you guys understand that? When you're older, you must pick your battles wisely. You can't just jump into something and do some crazy shit. You know? So these guys are picking their battles wisely. MMA don't pay enough money. So I think Dana White said it best. So someone said, he said, we need Smitty in UFC. Like, you wanna know what I would do? If I was in the UFC, I would try to pull a Kevin Holland. You guys, I'm telling you guys, I think in the next maybe if I keep it up and I do what I'm supposed to do, I think you guys will see me in 5 years in the UFC. I do in 5 years. Promise you guys. We probably gonna have to clip this shit. You know, it's gonna be like a little edit. Me talking shit right here. I'm gonna be 5 years. I'm gonna be in the UFC. Boom, you see me in the UFC. But I'm gonna tell y'all how it would be with me. Let me explain to you guys something. I would pull a Kevin Holland. I would pull a Merab Dvalishvili. What I mean by that is you guys would see me try to speed run that shit. I would try to get to the title and I would win the title, right? And I would try to defend the title as much as I can. The moment I lose, right? So like this is what I would do. There's you have guys who there's like title defenses, right? So like I think you have Anderson Silva, he had 13 title defenses. I would try to beat that record and then I would retire, right? That's what I would be going for. Or I would try to defend it and then the moment I lose, I would try to get it back one more time, and if I lose again, I'm retiring. I'm done. I'm done. Like I don't like because I've noticed every fighter, like Israel Adesanya. When Israel Adesanya lost, he should have retired. He should have fucking retired. I've noticed no one ever comes back properly. Nope. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to take as many fights as possible. When like if I got in, I would do a Kevin Holland. I would be trying to fight like 4 or 5 times in 1 year. I would. I would try to get my ass on every event. That's what I would be trying to do. I'd be on every fucking event trying to get to the title. I would win the title, and then I would try to defend the title as much as possible, like Merab Dvalishvili did. And the moment I lose, I'll try to get it back one time. I lose or I don't get it back, I'm retiring. And at least y'all and I'll tell you, at least I did it for you guys. That's what I would do. Um, remember me when you're in UFC? I'm probably gonna still be live streaming. UFC don't make no money. I'm willing to bet by the time I get to UFC, we gonna be big. It's gonna be us in this live stream talking. Like I'm willing to bet. I'm betting you guys. I'm gonna make more money on live than I make in the UFC. It's just for you guys. So I'm gonna still be here. We still gonna be talking. But you said what weight class? Right now I am trying to do the 125er. For the 135 weight class, which is with that's with Sugar Sean and them. I need to get stronger. Like I think I need an actual like team for that, but it is cool. Don't worry. Preparation is there. Don't worry about it. Like I'll figure it out. It's literally steps. People don't understand that this shit is steps, man. It's steps to all this stuff. Marab has got good at marketing. I just think Marab he's just marketable. I just think that. Cause like so the difference between UFC and the difference between boxing is boxing, you could be hidden for years and then come out and everybody's gonna come watch your stuff. UFC is not like that. You need to be active as fuck, you know? So that's what I would do. I would try to I'll probably be in. You said I would say don't fight like Marab did. He fought too often. Hello. He fought too often is why he lost, they say. Future Mighty Mouse. I think okay. Let me see. Ghost, can you do something about that? Let me see. He doing he too many highs. Too many highs. I don't like that. Have you trained? Thank you. Yeah, you doing too much, big dog. Have you ever trained BJJ with a UFC fighter? Oh no, I haven't. I think I think jujitsu guys. Well, I was about to say some stupid shit. I was about to say something very ignorant. I was gonna say I think jujitsu guys have better. Well, no, maybe that's not stupid. I think jujitsu guys have better jujitsu than UFC fighters. That's safe to say. The big difference between MMA jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu, right, is MMA guys are trying to stand up. You guys do not know how difficult it actually is to try to keep someone on the ground that doesn't want to be on the ground. It's a totally different like game plan. Craig Jones did a instructional on that of how to keep like that's just a concept that we as jiu-jitsu people don't understand because everyone they just lay down. They're like, okay, cool. You know, like it's fine. Like we'll play the game of jujitsu. But you said who's the best 155er? What do you mean by that? Like in the amateur scene? In the amateur scene or who? Wait, no, it's Taporia, right? In the professional, Taporia is a 155er. Cause let me think. Am I tripping? So Taporia fought Volkanovski, then he went up and yeah. It's Ilya Taporia. He's the best 155er. Yeah, oh, you said lightweight go Islam. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, I feel so bad for Taporia. So Islam has a good stake in why he downgrades Taporia. Islam is saying that you beat all the guys that I already beat, right? Um, so Islam had these guys when they were like prime monsters, right? And then Taporia came in, and yes, he finished them, but they didn't have they weren't like the threat and the scariness of what they were was kind of gone, right? It's just so like for example, you could not convince me that Prime Oliveira was going to lose against Taporia. Like I knew I wish I was live streaming at least before that fight happened. Cuz I told my homie the day before. I said I think he's going to get knocked out. I said I think Taporia is going to probably knock him out in the first round because I knew Oliveira's style. Oliveira is my favorite fighter. I watch him. I knew Oliveira was going to come forward. I knew Oliveira was going to get hit at least one good time, and I knew it was that one good time was going to be him getting knocked out. When he was fighting, I was just biting my nails because it sucked to watch. I was like, "Oh my god, I know." And then that's why I think Taporia celebrated the night before. It was that fight, right? Like I knew it. I was like, "Oh, and he's celebrating, dog." I knew it. And then boom, he got knocked the fuck out. I was like, damn. And the way he got knocked out, his arms fell out. I was like, oh my man, my goat. You're gonna have to go to a bigger gym probably again. I don't think so. I think the place that I'm at, like Uprise MMA, we are connected to UNF. The guy who most people that dominate within UNF go directly to the UFC. There's a couple of dudes who have went to the UFC already. They vacated the titles and went to the UFC. Also, we are now connected with who is that called? Lights Out, and Lights Out is being streamed on ESPN, which my coach wants me on that. He wants me to hop on that one because I'd be streamed on ESPN, you know. So that'd be cool. Yeah, like we're connected to like. It's just I need to fight more. That's why I should be fighting. I have an interview tomorrow. I'm gonna hop on the interview, and I should be fighting March 21st. And for my guy Sport, you was asking about the diet and stuff. I'm locking in tomorrow. I'm locking the fuck in tomorrow. Like it's I'll have 1 month, and I love locking in a month before. You guys are gonna see me posting a lot more. I'm gonna still be live streaming. We're gonna talk about it. But I'm gonna be posting a lot more, getting people hyped for the fight. You said maybe you could pull off where Marab couldn't. Well, no. Marab's problem. Yes, he did fight too much, but okay. Everyone respects Marab. I think everyone respects him. The problem is that Marab wasn't finishing his fights. That's all this comes down to. But yeah, if I was to go, I would try to fight as much as possible. You have to speed run it. That's why Alex Pereira is so beloved as he is. He sped run that shit, you know? He got in, he's still in. And now that he's done everything he's needed to do, he's only looking for the big paycheck. Because I think Alex Pereira is on his way out too. He wants to fight John Jones. He doesn't want to fight Aspinall. Nobody wants to fucking fight Aspinall, you know? He wants to fight John Jones and get a legendary paycheck, you know? But that's what I think you have to do. You said, oh no, Ghost, I'm listening to you. Like, trust me, I'm a thinker. I'm not delusional. I can peep game, and like even with my last MMA fight, there is so many fucking holes that I'm staring at. I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, and these dudes are terrified of me. And I'm just like, if I was me watching me, I know how to get around that shit. I'm staring at it and I'm like, so I've been desperately trying to fix like, that's why I'm telling everybody the next fight is gonna be different. It's gonna be totally different. I'm gonna make sure like I come different. It's gonna be different, totally different. I want to, and then the fight after that, I'm gonna make sure I'm not satisfied. How do you deal with injuries that prevent you from training? I think you need to. It's your post workout recovery. You need to get more protein in your body. You need like I think nah, I won't be able to. I wanted to go to the sauna. But I'm about to be getting off. Sorry, it's been 2 hours and I need to be somewhere at 7. But I still have a little bit of time to talk to you guys. Um, you need to go to the sauna. I do recommend cannabis heavily, but um, I unfortunately a few years ago when I was trying to study all this stuff, I had access to a lot of cannabis companies. I don't like I used to. But I've done a lot of research now, and I do believe cannabis is really good for your really good for injuries. But yeah, I would say protein if you protein and diets. Like when I say protein, I'm talking about like them protein shakes. Like you should be really having like and vitamins too. Like what type of injury do you have? You get what I'm saying? There's vitamins that will help. Like it's so much stuff. How do you deal with injuries though? You nurse them and stop training so much on your injuries. Like that's such a big problem. Like there was this kid. He was 23 years old, 22 years old. He came inside jujitsu, and I see he had all this stuff because I guess he dislocated his shoulder, right? And I'm staring at the kid. I said, "Hey," he said, "Yeah." I said, "When did you dislocate your shoulder?" He said, "Oh, I recently did it." I was like, "When?" He said, like a week or two ago. I said, "Hey, do me a favor. Get the fuck off this mat and don't come back here until 6 weeks have passed." He was like, "Huh?" I said, "Get the fuck off the mat, go home." You know? And he just looked so confused. So I looked at the homie who's a former boxer. He dislocated both of his shoulders. See, I only dislocated one, but he dislocated both of his shoulders. I said, "Hey, homie, my homie Julian, shout out Julian." I said, he just dislocated his shoulder. I said, and look what he's doing. Julian looked over. He said, "Hey, how old are you?" Kid was like 20, 22, 23. He said, "Fucking stupid," right? And I guess that got to him, right? He was like, "What are you guys talking about?" One thing that I wish I did, you need to understand that when you get injured, just sit the fuck down. If I would have never continued to train, if I would have just sat down, I don't think my shoulder would be as injured as it is now. So, how do you deal with injuries? Find out exactly what it is. You need to know exactly what your injury is and find out what is the actual amount of time that you're supposed to sit around and actually do that. I promise you, you will save yourself so much time, pain, and headache. I promise you. And then you should go to you should rehab it 100%. So you can still work out. You should be rehabbing it. But how do you deal with injuries? Don't be training, bro. Or maybe like you could drill, like, but don't be sparring and stuff. You could drill, but don't spar. But I say go sit the fuck down. I don't know what I'm saying. Armin Sarukian beats Ilya Taporia. I don't think so. I don't think so. Everyone's saying that he's a nightmare matchup for Ilya, but I'm like, have y'all forgot Ilya's a grappler? Have y'all forgot? Like, I'm not. I said that sounds so like attacky sports, but I'm just saying, like, have y'all forgot that he is a grappler? I don't. And Armasukian struggled with Oliveira. Like, I don't think, but I don't think Arman's gonna get knocked out though. I'm willing to bet that. I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. I think it's gonna be a wrestling match, and we're gonna be reminded how good of a grappler Taporia is. That's what I think. What's your opinion on Joshua Van? I think Pantoja getting injured was good for the. Well, Mm, it it's not good for the division because he got injured. I don't like seeing people get injured. I hate that shit. But it did add some needed spark to that division. But he's gonna be another. I just think we need personalities now. Okay, we need personalities. We don't need no more fighters. We need personalities now that gets people going. Okay, that's what the UFC is missing. It's missing personalities. That's what builds the roster. Um, that's what like we just need personalities. That's all we're missing. So Joshua Van, he just doesn't have a personality. Like he's cool. Like I mean, cool fighter, I guess. But a lot of these dudes are just forgettable. They're fucking forgettable. I think like Sean O'Malley has a really good personality. Really good personality. He's a good personality. But even um he desperately needed that win too. Yeah. But I think like him losing, we need winning personalities. There we go. We need winning personalities. That's what we need. Because Sean O'Malley has the personality, but him losing really hurts his brand. Israel Adesanya had a personality, but him losing hurts the brand. And that's the shitty part about martial arts. So I think like maybe that's what I'm gonna try to do. That's actually, you know what, sports. That was a good question. That was a good question. Because that made me realize, like that was a you just triggered a deep insight. Maybe as fighters, you need to develop a personality where it doesn't even matter if you lost. Like people are still captivated by you. You know, because like Sean O'Malley does like he has a personality where I think people still watch Sean O'Malley, right? I don't really see him passively inside of the engine, the algorithm no more like I used to. But I'm sure he still has a following base. You want someone, shit, you probably gotta be like an I show speed or something. You know, I show speed, like he runs around and he's going viral just off of his live streams alone. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you gotta have something like that going on, you know, and you just happen to fight, you know. You like maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the game, you know. Um, but I think maybe that's what it is. You said maybe your future fight in 5 years. Sean O'Malley, I doubt it. Oh, you never know. You never know because he's in the 135 division. Yeah. How would I deal with Sean O'Malley? Mm, hopefully, my striking would be there by that time. Yeah. Is what is Sean O'Malley's? What's Sean O'Malley's stance? How would I fight him? Because he's like extraordinarily taller than me. He's lanky as fuck too. He can do some jujitsu. See now let me show you guys how I think. So if I wanted to beat Sean O'Malley, I would have to get prepared right now. Or Joshua Van? Joshua Van? Okay, see that feels better. That feels better. That feels way better. No, I'd probably submit his ass. Can I beat him right now? No, but yeah, I'd probably submit his ass. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah. I think let me tell you guys something. As long as I study jujitsu, I think I'll always be a problem. Especially in these smaller divisions, like the 125ers. If a dude's my height, good luck. Good luck. If you're my height, like they better have their grappling needs to be better than mine. Yeah, they have to have better grappling, or they need to nullify my grappling. Yeah, you would have to nullify the grappling and have better striking than me. That's why I've been studying striking so much. Like, yeah, striking is important. All you guys, O'Malley speed is crazy. You saw how like I had to really think about that. I was like, how would you beat him? because he's so lanky. Like when I saw him go against what's his name? The little was that was a Chinese dude, right? A Song, right? That's who he went against? Um Song was doing Song had the good game plan, but he threw the game plan out at the end, and that's how he lost. That's how he lost. If Song would have stuck with what he was doing, he would have won that fight. But yeah, MMA is interesting, but I think yeah, MMA is very interesting. All right, so we're at 130. Corey Sandhagen beat him out. Nah, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Hell no. Hell no. I don't see it. I don't see it. Hell no. Nah, I don't see it. Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. I don't see it. I think Sean O'Malley probably already figured out what happens. Ooh. Ooh. The striking would be fucking. It would be. Ooh. I don't know. That would be really interesting of a fight. It comes down to whose IQ is better with the striking. Because the way Sandhagen, he's so crafty, dude. But I just think Sean, like, Sean would be in his element against him. I feel so the same way with like Ilya Taporia and Islam Makhachev, where I say it comes down to like strength, right? That's an IQ battle. Sean is slowing down though. He is slowing down. Like he doesn't look like he's fast, but he didn't look as fast in that fight. Like when Sean went against like if okay, there we go. If Sean O'Malley comes in that fight the way he came in, like when he fought Cheeto Vera that second time, he's destroying Corey Sandhagen. Destroying him. Peter Yan, I think Peter Yan beats O'Malley right now. I think he does. I think Peter Yan beats O'Malley. I don't think O'Malley can fuck Piotr Yan. I don't think so. Smitty, when did you transition to combat striking outside? When did you transition to combat striking outside of jiu-jitsu? I started in combat striking. I started in karate first, and then I went to jiu-jitsu. I did Wing Chun, and then after Wing Chun, I realized that was bullshit, and then I went to boxing. I did boxing for a while. And then I went out of boxing. No. That's not how it happened. I did karate. Then I did jiu-jitsu. Then I did kickboxing. The coach claimed we were learning Muay Thai, but we were really learning kickboxing. Now that my IQ is a little bit better, we was learning kickboxing. But it was claimed to be Muay Thai. Then I became a brown belt in karate. But then the pandemic happened, that karate gym closed, so I never got to become a black belt. I had one more test, and I would have been a black belt. So I never got to become a black belt in karate. Then I did Wing Chun. I got up to like, there was like a sash system. I did half of the art. I literally did what Bruce Lee did. I got up to like the dummy, a little bit like half. I learned half of all of the dummy. And then I quit the art because it was so much. It was so much politics and that shit. So I stuck with jiu-jitsu for a while. That's when I got famous in jiu-jitsu. And then I went to Muay Thai at Boxing Works. No. Damn. I've been everywhere. Shit. Let me see. How did it go? No, I did. It was jujitsu, and then I trained parkour. That's why I always tell you guys about parkour. I actually trained parkour before. It was jujitsu, then it was parkour. Then I went boxing, trained boxing for like 2 years, 2.5 years, or maybe 3 years. Then I went back to karate, kind of. That was like a month or two, and I was like, nah, that shit don't work. So then I went to Muay Thai, and I've been training at Boxing Works for the past almost 2 years. Wow, okay. So I've been training Muay Thai, still jujitsu and all this. And then last June, I started training full time MMA. And so far now, I've been training jujitsu, Muay Thai, and MMA. And um that's been my primary arts. And so yeah. Now I teach MMA and jujitsu now. Yeah, that's the full thing. That's the full thing. Krav Maga, nah, it's bullshit. Oh, the Krav Maga guys are gonna be so angry with me. It's bullshit, bro. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Mm-mm. You do better learning the Filipino martial arts of Kali and Extrema than Krav Maga. At least you could pick up a stick, and there's knife fighting in there, and actual techniques of how to fight with a knife and a stick. Um, I've been actually learning the Filipino language of Tagalog and Bisaya. I deal with a lot of Filipino girls, so um, I've been learning their language. Magadang gumaga. Good morning. My bad. I shouldn't have deleted that comment. What comment? I didn't even see it. Cool. Thanks for watching content for sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. What did you do? I didn't see a comment you deleted. I do Muay Thai. What's the difference between that and kickboxing? Oh, it's real simple. Oh, so you've been training Krav Maga for 16 years. I would have to see it. I really think Krav Maga is bullshit. You know? Now here, I love this. I love that you said that. Because we can have a healthy disagreement. I just think it's bullshit. Well, hold on. Do you guys spar? If you've been training for that long, do you guys spar? And I say this respectfully. So when I say it's bullshit, I'm not saying it like in a disrespectful tone for you. I'm talking in general. Wing Chun, Krav Maga. There's another one. I just think they're bullshit. It's too many. Here we go. It's too many politics. It's way too many politics that ruins the arts. That's why I say it's bullshit. There we go. That hopefully that helps you understand what I feel about that. It's like too many politics in the art. So let me go back. You say I do Muay Thai. What's the difference between that and kickboxing? It really just lack of elbows. No, the clinch. That's it. The clinch is just taken out. That's it. You can't clinch people. I think Muay Thai is way more brutal than kickboxing. Oh no, it's different. It's different. It's and I would say like I think one championship has done an incredible job to show the difference of kickboxing and Muay Thai. There's a reason why the it's really just a shift of rules, but that shift of rules is why you see some of the good, like the really incredibly talented Thai fighters, they're losing when they go into the kickboxing. Damn, one championship is ruining. I think this thing is freezing. We might have to go anyway, so this thing's freezing. Y'all take care. Be safe. I'll be on tomorrow.